Okay, so let's do some cleanup here. Just gonna go back to 1 on this and re-reference my proxy. And I want to tweak out some stuff. So if I hide the eyes and I look at what's happening here with the nose, these faces are a little bit too large and a bit weird, and we want to add a little bit more structure to the brow. And then do the neck. So I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup. First thing is maybe just inserting a loop right in here just to cut these faces in half. So mesh tools, insert edge loop tool, and I'll just stick one in and cut those faces in half. And that's going to allow me to do a little bit more structure. Maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to hit Q to exit that tool. I'm going to unproxy or grab the proxy half here, and maybe I will smooth this side. So I'll leave that in 3 reference. And what that's going to allow me to do is when I grab these verts and I start to move them around, so I want to kind of clean up this flow here. So these can go in, this can go in. And what I'm going to do is as I move this, I can see what's happening on the smooth side. So I can kind of use the proxy side to help me when I adjust these points in to kind of go, okay, well, is it going to look good when I smooth it at the end? And I'm just going to keep going like that. We always want to kind of clean up the flow, the edge loop flow, so that it's round and consistent and that kind of thing. Maybe these can come forward a bit just to trying to keep the faces, approximately the same size if I can. Yeah, and then these are going to come over, and you can see here, I mentioned this before, but this third dimension here, so the front looks good, the side looks good, because those are our reference images, but this third dimension here, this 45-degree angle, is always really, really flat. So we're going to try and add some structure back with that, and I can see this edge jetting over, so if I move this over and then up and out, that's going to help create some extra structure there. And I think what I'll do is I'll switch my move tool here into component, which is going to allow me to pull in the normal direction. And yeah, let's just pull these out. And we'll just keep pulling and pulling out in the direction that they're going. I want to maybe slide them over now, so maybe I'll turn my slide on. So there's transform constraints, edge slide, and I'll drag this over on the edge. And I'm trying to straighten that line out, and then I can also take these over as well. And what that's going to do is create a big gap in here, which is fine. I'm going to turn the slide back off now, so W, left mouse click, transform constraints off. And I'm going to maybe pull this one over. Actually, maybe I should have left the slide on, but that's fine. I'm going to pull that over, and again, I can see what's happening on the other side. And as I move these around, okay, well, something. Okay, so yeah, so the first thing to address is this huge gap I'm creating. And maybe before I do that, I'm going to pull these out as well, just to create more structure. But all right, I guess. And I'm going to fix this just by inserting edge loop. So mesh tools, insert edge loop. Put one in right in the middle there, and then adjust the verts. So Q to exit the tool, back into vertex mode, select the verts, W, I'm still in move component, so I can pull them in the direction that they're already arcing. This one can maybe come down a bit. And again, we can see what we're doing. So on the border edge, always want to be in world space, so you don't disturb the center line. And we're just trying to kind of clean these up. And you can see we're getting much better structure for his sort of huge upper lip overbite, whatever we're going to call it. And then these are going to just straighten these out and maybe pull this down. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to add some edge loops around the eyes to do the brow next, so I'm kind of prepping for that by pulling these points out. And this one is like way over there, so that's always a bit odd. So let's see if we can't just kind of clean these up a little bit. And this would come out a little bit here. I can come further down the cheekbone there a little bit. So yeah, we're getting there, moving things around, just cleaning up. Looking better. All nice and cleaned up and averaged and stuff. And you know, maybe we could use the relax tool at some point. Sculpt tool with a relax setting. And yeah, this looks like it could probably use a bit of work as well. Maybe I mentioned it earlier in the video, but maybe this can carry up and cut in, because we don't really have a lot of verts on the bottom lip. We have quite a few on the top now. But let's leave that for a minute, and let's go back up to the eye. So we're kind of cleaning up the nose and the eye and all that stuff. So let's talk about inserting a loop going around the eye now. To create that, because the nose structure looks pretty good now, and then we don't really have, we want to create kind of a bump for the upper part of his brow. So maybe first I'll cut around the outside, and to do that I'm just gonna slide these out of the way. So maybe we'll put my slide back on, so transform constraint edge slide, and I'll just drag these over on their edges and make some space. We did this when we inserted the loop for the mouth, so I'm just kind of averaging these out, kind of cleaning up. I'm making a gap. I don't really want to affect the shape, I just want to move the vert over on the straight edge that it's, and maybe these can come the other way a little bit. And it is going to add another, we're getting quite heavy, I think, for the mesh around the mouth here a bit, but yeah, let's move that into the corner. Okay, so making a gap, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the multi-cut now, so let me just turn that slide off just so it doesn't screw anything up. So slide is off, and mesh tools, multi-cut, and I'm going to start and just kind of draw around his brow here, and then I'm going to try and cut this face roughly in half all the way down. You can see you get a percentage. Doesn't have to be exactly 50, just kind of, there you go. So that's added another loop all the way down. Because I turned the corner, hit Q to exit the tool, I create this triangle, but that's easy to fix. I just take that edge and I collapse it. So edit mesh collapse, and that turns everything back into quads. And I'm going to add another loop going around the eye. So back to the multi-cut, I'll just hit Y, it'll allow me to do another one, and I want to cut in through here. Sure, why not? And then I want to actually connect it up into there. So that's made a lot of triangles actually, and so to kind of, let's hit Q to clean that up. Normally what you can do is you can just grab the triangle that you made and collapse it, and that should turn everything back into quads. It's not quite happening that way. So I collapsed this one, and I think I'm going to collapse this one. And what else? So that's left me with this triangle and this triangle. If I was really trying to be cheaty, I could sort of split from that triangle to this triangle because it's symmetrical, but I'd rather create a loop. So what I'll do is I got the multi-cut up. I'm just going to cut in to this corner there and hit enter, and then I'm going to cut from there into here and hit enter, and then exit the tool with Q, and then take this triangle and this triangle and just always control delete your edges, and we should be back into quads. So that's added another loop where I had to sort of cross lines, but it's fine, it works. And then let's just adjust some of the verts here. So this would come down because we want to keep our lines as straight as we can, and maybe this one can go up here, so that's looking kind of clean. And maybe I'll turn the edge slide back on, so W, left mouse, transform, edge slide on, and I'm just going to slide these back, so 50-50, kind of averaging their positions, right? And up there, they're all right. And so for structure wise, I've got now a loop on the above the sort of brow, so let's pull that up. Let's pull that back. Let's pull this down. And let's pull that down. Let's kind of position these a little bit. No, I don't. Do I not have my? I thought I had the slide on. I guess I don't. I was wondering why they were moving so weirdly. And then I'm going to switch into component. And kind of pull them in the direction they're already going. And you know, we can look at the structure we're building on this side here. So we're kind of getting there. If I push these sort of down and in, should be able to see that we're getting some kind of brow shapes happening here. These can come out in the direction they're already facing. And let's look at this one. And again, trying to keep the lines straight. Maybe switch to the edge here, and then I can just pull these edges out. So there we go, we've got a bit more kind of brow action happening, a bit more structure. Let's bring the eyes back. So you can see we've got a bit more of a ridge happening around his eye now. And if we need to bring these out a bit further, then we do. This may be too much, a bit too drastic, I think. Let's push those back in. Going a bit too far on the sides. But again, I don't want to super tweak this. You get the idea, hopefully. Just trying to create like a ridge structure going around the eye, and maybe in here it's a bit too much, so we can just slide these back. Yeah, I guess. So the more geometry we get, the closer the edges get, we're going to get these kind of weird ridges and bumps and stuff. But overall, it's sort of okay. Let's pull these out a bit. And again, I'm still in component for my move tool just so that I can pull it straight out to kind of round things. And it was a bit flat there. Let's see what that looks like with the wireframe off, and let's hit 3. And yeah, I think I maybe overdid it with the eye structure a bit, so I might be just get the relax tool at the end, and I'll kind of soften this back out and average it. But the nose is looking all right. We've got the cut line for his stubble line that's kind of there, and if we wanted to accentuate that more, we could say select all those faces and extrude in once, and that would really make a sharp edge. And the ear is all right. If we wanted to add more structure to the ear, we could start to bevel edges in there, maybe do another extrude or something. But it's important that the looping structure is in, so we've got loops for the eyes, loops for the nose, loops for the mouth, loops for the ear, and sort of overall shape. Oh yeah, I mentioned his head is kind of getting flattened out, so let's just take these and pull them in the direction they're already facing, and that's gonna slide that over and up, slide that over and out. So that's just positioning. Could have the edge slide on there. That might make my life a bit easier. Just wanted to and maybe another loop in here, because this is quite flat on his forehead. So maybe to round that, we would need to just insert another edge loop there. So mesh tools, insert edge loop, right? And that cuts in there. And then it's the same issue. It's just going to cut the face without adding anything. So let's just scale that up. And then I just have to worry about the center points. Ooh, what did I do there? Let's undo that. Went a bit too far, did I? And R a bit more. There we go. Grab that vert. Grab that vert. W. Make sure it's in world space. Hold down X. Drag it over and back. And these points, maybe the edge slide will work now. So W. Click. Transform constraints. Edge slide. Because I want to pull these down. Again, I don't really want to change the shape or anything. Just want to drag them in the direction they're going. Just to average their positions out. And it doesn't really have an edge to go on. Let's turn it off. So slide off. And component, and pull them in a bit. Shit, in the direction that they're going. So select point. Yep. W pull. Switch it back to world space because I'm on the border edge. Bring that forward. That look, it's all right, I guess. Sure, that's a lot of geo for a light head, but that's, you know, we're almost done, so that's pretty close. Oh, let's just let's fix the bottom lip here. So multi-cut, and I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to split up into the open edge of the mouth here. And what that's going to do is creates this triangle here. So maybe what we can do, as I mentioned, we had quite a bit of geo on the bottom anyways, so what I'll do is I'm just going to select these 4 edges here, and I'm going to collapse them. So mesh tools, collapse. No, sorry, edit mesh, collapse. And that just turns everything back into quads, and we're done. We're good to go. And then, of course, I should use these verts. I've created them. I should, you know, do some work with them, because otherwise they're just going to be sitting there flat. But you never know, they might look all right the way they are. Yeah. So into component, and pull them in the direction they're kind of wanting to go. And what else? The neck. So let's do that as well in this shot. So this video. So let me just. Now what? Now we're locked up here for some reason. Hang on. Okay, so looks like I don't know, mine's trying to crash on me or something, and I didn't save the file. So that's pretty bad. So I'm gonna call the video here, and I'm gonna pull the neck out in the next one.